Well, Chairman Mike Harris, we're in your inner sanctum now. Not many people get to be in this privileged place. We're here today and we're talking about the New Saints Football Club. A great win on Saturday just gone against Connah's Quay Nomads.
Oh, excellent win. And I think that realistically, the doubters from this season, people talking about blips, as I said on my previous interviews, whether it was on the first one or the second one, is that judge it over a season. Nothing's won yet, so there's no. But ultimately, Connah's Quay have emerged as one of the runners to give us a go this season. But when you really look at the relying on their tactics, which I'll be honest with you, as a club we would never have done. And I don't think the clubs like Barry would have done. I think that leaving the grass long, having it not pitted and obviously training or whatever had happened on it before, yes, that might win you some points from time to time. But if that's going to be your underlying reliance to knock a champion off, then to be honest with you, that isn't the sort of champion I'd want to be. And I've got to say that previously other champions that have been there, and we've dealt with people like Barry Town. I don't think that they would be that type of tactician either. Now, good luck to them, but that's the way they are. But when you do deploy those type of tactics, you have to win, because if you don't win, that means that you've got to really wrap it all up and start again. Either new players, bigger and stronger ones to do the same thing, or you've got to try and evolve the way that you play. Now, whether they will evolve with those players or not, I don't know. But that's perhaps why they came in, to try and sign so many of mine. But you can tell that the nucleus of our team would not be happy playing on that style of football week in, week out. It's not their thing. But we dealt with it. I think Scott and Eva were tacticians, were outwitted the other side, and I think that the public got a good display that TNS were more than capable of dealing with a team that really wanted to play direct football. And again, hopefully I'm not being too critical. Got a lot of respect for Craig and Andy, but I think that obviously Andy's got a particular style of football, which is obviously been very effective and has merged to be very, very competitive this season. I would imagine it must frustrate Craig, because Craig again is a big ambassador of playing the game of football.
Mike, you are a successful businessman. That's where we are today, at the hub of your business network. Also the club as well. You want the club to be successful. That game on Saturday, it was a massive one for both sides. TNS are now in the driving seat, but it's still very close. Some people are saying that the title race is over, but in many ways it's just beginning, Mike.
Yeah, very much so. As I said to Scott, don't take that as being the end of the season. There's nothing won yet. No result is ever as good or as bad as it first looks. Even if we'd have lost on Saturday, it was still all completely within our own hands. Again, I think rightly so. The professionalism and the skill of the players that we have shone through. Some excellent goals, some excellent play. The tactics that we did to nullify the sort of long ball, big strong tactics was perfect. But ultimately, there's now equally emerging challenges. I think that Newtown may have got a sniff of finishing in those top places. I think Bala obviously want to be in those top places, and at the moment perhaps they're not picking up the points, but they're still an extremely good team, and nothing can be taken away from Carnarvon, because when we've played Carnarvon, they've been very, very, very a very, very good team this season. So I do see still some more twists and turns. The competition isn't over by a long way. I think that we've put ourselves in a strong position, but no, we'll definitely not be resting on our laurels.
It's certainly been a very interesting season, and we talked about that blip, Mike, way back in the autumn now. 5 points from 5 games. That was a test of character, not just for yourself and those that run the team off the pitch, but more closer to it, the players themselves, Scott Roscoe, Steve Evans, but everyone came through that difficult period, came through stronger, and that's the mark of a good team.
Well, myself and the board had great faith in Scott. We wouldn't have placed him in a position of being manager of the team, along with Evo. Great great men for the football club. They were in training for a number of years under the guise of Craig and Darlow, and ultimately, as they've come forward, they've emerged with their own ideas. They brought in their own players, and I think that we rightly called it. But we brought in 1 or 2 new faces last season, young guys who were looking to push the older guys for their shirt, and it's taken a little while for all of those to bed in. But as you can see now, we've got 22 players who are absolutely a unit as a team, and Scott has difficulties now who we will pick, because the ones who came through have come up to speed. The guys who've given us long service are there, and it's exactly what he wanted. He wanted competition for places. He wanted players who could easily interchange, and players that can go on to the next stage of our club's journey. And I think he's done an excellent job there. I said the job work isn't done yet. We've got to obviously get to the end of the season, but it's very easy for critics to cast, this is doom and gloom. But the club has never at one point during the season, even where we had less points per game, not have a rational reason why they were there. And I won't blame anybody outside. We did have perhaps not the rub of the green, but that's football. You've got to take that into your season. You are going to have periods of time where things go against you, whether it's decisions on the pitch, whether it's sending offs, whether it's injuries, whether it's players who are out of form. All those things all go into the mix, and the manager can only use the resources he's got at his disposal. And I think that it's a great credit to Scott and Evo that they've used the resources within the club excellently. And again, the resources that we commit, they're good resources, but it isn't win at all financial expense. I know that there's several clubs in the league spending virtually the same as us, if not more than us, to get to where they do in the league. I won't name names, but I've made it very, very clear what our wage bill is. Our books are published in Companies House. People can see what our wage bill is. But our wage bill isn't just for the first team. Our wage bill delivers an excellent academy programme, in the community programme, working with different stakeholders within football, within our local area, and the greater game. So all round, there's a job being done on all fronts, where perhaps other clubs will prioritise all their spend to the first team. We want to produce what I could call a sustainable journey, and a sustainable football club, and a football club that would be looking to continue to build on its success. Whether we win the league or not, the football club's here for a very long time, and that is been an important factor in the decision to build a football club that plays in Wales. A club that started in Llanson Village, merged with Oswestry Town. It has, I believe, off the pitch, pushed every corner of ways to bring in sponsorship, to bring in the funding that's required to put a decent team out there, but also bringing the motivation to keep that team constantly being refreshed, constantly being motivated, and also constantly being enhanced. Hence why, as we go through the cycles of renewal, we have a policy of recruiting younger players who are either going to develop into players that will play for us for a very long time, or could leave the club, hopefully to be sold to a club that may get their checkbooks out. And I'm not going to say a higher level club, because I made it very clear that I don't regard Division 2 and the conference as betterment for our players. In League 2, there may be some bigger salaries washing around, but I think that players, if they want to really achieve the heights of their career, these are in things like the Champions League. They're in the Europa League. And I fully recognise the English Premier League has money beyond the wildest dreams. And again, those type of clubs, if they come knocking, a player should be aspiring to take those monies away. But ultimately, I believe the Welsh pyramid system is growing. I think that the Premier League itself within Wales now is establishing itself as a place to be. And the media that our league gets covered, from what I call the emerging media, such as Twitter, such as Facebook, is outstripping any League 2 club. I use social media quite extensively, and I see a lot from the English Premier League. Not so much from the Championship, and nothing at all really from League 2 and below. So you can see the professional clips. Scorio do a great job. For the league with the coverage that they make. That coverage gets promoted within those social medias. It would be lovely if it was being transmitted out on a national TV, free to air, or on the Premier channels of Sky, but we are where we are. Scorio do a great job, the production's great, but by having that professional coverage, those clips that are put onto then the social media are far more professional and far more comprehensive than what you're getting from those lower English leagues. So again, I think the wheel is turning. I think it's now a time for the fans of the clubs, our rival clubs in the Welsh Premier, not just carry on knocking the leagues this, the leagues that. They should be starting to think that the league is a Premier League. Yes, albeit not with the funds and resources of the English Premier League, but it does have the roots to the Premier roots within football, which is the Champions League, the Europa League, and the soon-to-be the Europa League 2, which again are going to be much better places to play football than on some wet, boggy pitch in the conference. And I think that players are slowly but surely making that choice, preferably from the younger generations. We've seen the young lad come through from Swansea City, Ben Cabango, great player, and he's destined for a great career, and he's taken good memories with him from the club. And he's also going, that's a good standard of football. The young lad now we've got from Cardiff doing an excellent job for us. But again, coming through to the Welsh Premier, choosing Welsh Premier rather than lower league English football for where they want to go on their loans. And I think it's time now for the public who directly watch our game to be proud of the products that we're producing, the teams that are producing. And instead of perhaps, if you're halfway up the table going, well, we can't get there, they should be proud that this is a league that they're competing in. And that will help to bring and attract more quality players and help them make the choice between going to a different location just because the perception. And again, this is going to be a long journey. This isn't a journey that we can fix in one season. This is generational. And I think with further support from the FAW, with forward thinking at the FAW, which it's come on a long way from the dark days when I first got involved with in football, where it was probably more likely to discuss what was on the menu for lunch than the issues that confronted the domestic game within our country. Today, everybody has moved forward. Clubs have moved forward. The administration within the FAW has moved forward, and they've realised that our nation can produce a pyramid, but we can be proud of for a small nation.
Chairman Mike Harris, thank you again for your insight into the Welsh domestic football game, and we look forward to more as we continue our series of The Thoughts of Chairman Mike.
Thank you very much.